son, the hunter, who uses all the methods of the animals.
Hey guys, Society Reviews here, my review of the film Kraven the Hunter. It's been at least 10 years since Sony decided they were going to make a cinematic universe revolving around all the random members of Spider-Man's rogue gallery and give them their own films that did not have Spider-Man in them. The end game for all of this was supposed to be a culmination of a Sinister Six movie featuring an adventure-style team-up of all of Spider-Man's villains that may or may not have ended up with a Spider-Man appearance when it was all said and done. For 10 years, everyone with half a brain has told Sony that this was a terrible idea. An idea that was so bad that at one point there was rumors of an Aunt May movie in development. Well, after several years and 6 films, the Sony version of the Spider-Man movies have come to an end. And the only positive thing you can say about them is that it has produced some of the movies of the last 10 years. Movies such as Venom, Venom 2, Venom 3, Morbius, Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter. Most of you guys listening to this were probably more excited about being the victim of a drive-by shooting than you are watching Kraven the Hunter. But we've made it this far, so we might as well end things with a bang. And by bang, I mean the sound of the worst cinematic universe in comic book history exploding with the force of a nuclear bomb. Kraven the Hunter begins with Aaron Taylor Johnson as Sergei Kravinoff, the son of a powerful drug leader slash big game hunter who tries to look after his weaker little brother who can't pull himself away from the wrath of his father. After surviving a horrific lion attack, Sergei, combined with a drop of blood and literal hocus pocus, becomes a superpowered individual with superhuman strength, cat-like reflexes, and the ability to hunt down anyone he puts his sights on. After 7 years have passed, one of Kraven's biggest hunts has drawn the attention of a dangerous mercenary who refers to himself as the Rhino. Knowing that Kraven has a list that you cannot get off of until you're dead, the Rhino decides to strike first by killing Kraven and eliminating the threat. Of course, the way he figures to do this is to kidnap Kraven's brother, which gives Kraven the motivation to hunt him down and find him. This move turns out to be a series of big mistakes by our villain within a villain story. Let's get the positives out of the way. Kraven the Hunter is not the worst Sony Spider-Man film to be made. That honor remains with Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. There are a few elements to this film that does work, they just don't mesh well with the overall narrative of the story. Aaron Taylor Johnson is fine as the lead character of this film. In a better written movie, you can definitely see a window of better things to come. Russell Crowe, who plays his father in the film, is a solid actor, and once again, with better material, he could be in a much better movie. The first 10 minutes of this film are very well done, as our title character jumps right into the action. If the film ended in the first 10 minutes, I would give this movie a 4 out of 5, but it didn't. After the prison escape, the film undergoes 40 minutes of a flashback sequence regarding the upbringing of Kraven's character, which brings the film to a screeching halt right off the bat. The pacing of this film is so awful, you can go to sleep for about the next hour and not miss anything important to the plot. The flaw of every single Spider-Man villain movie is that the film is trying to tell you a story about a villain who is the protagonist, but attempts to tell their story from the perspective of a hero. The villain isn't bad because there's always somebody around who's even worse than them. This creates a hollow of a cinematic version of a far more entertaining character because Sony doesn't have anyone talented enough to tell a villain story from a villain's perspective. Then again, with no hero in the movie to stop said villain, that point might as well be moot. The film showcases a British, Australian, and American actors attempting to do 3 of the most horrendous Russian accents simultaneously. The visual effects of this movie are awful. The writing of this film is held together by Play-Doh, as multiple characters don't even act like they're acting in the same movie as everyone else. Alessandro Vahova plays the Rhino in the film, who's not even charismatic enough to be qualified as a cartoon character. Still, his portrayal is so over the top, it's out of place for a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Written by 3 screenwriters, directed by the guy who brought you Triple Frontier 5 years ago, and a movie that is at least 25 minutes too long. The only positive thing to say about Kraven the Hunter is that it's not the worst Sony Marvel movie to come out in 2024. Then again, being better than Madam Web is not the best way to end a cinematic universe that will go down as one of the biggest mistakes for Sony since giving Seth Rogen carte blanche. I give this film a 1.5 out of 5.
And once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
There's 6 of us and only one of you.
There's 6 of you now.